Hello, my beautiful fashionista. You're welcome to Yvonne Winifred UG. So today we are sewing up this beautiful peplum blouse. The cutting tutorial is already on the channel, and I'm also going to link it in the description box below, so you can either watch that or finish this one and also see how we cut up all these pieces that you see here. So at this point we finished cutting all the main fabric pieces, the lining pieces, as you see, the flare pieces as you see, and we are going to use this soft stiff paper for the circle or the flare pieces so that they are a little bit firmer and stiff to bring out the 720-degree flare very well, or else also you can use some crinoline if you have it. So for the sleeve, guys, I cut my sleeves also off camera, and the length is just 10.5 inches. So to start the sewing, I'm going to be double folding by 1/2 inch, and I'm going to sew along that fold to hem my sleeves. And also I notched the midpoint of this sleeve. That is where I will be attaching them to the main blouse after. So for all these other pieces, we are going to join the princess dart first. So I'm putting my pieces right sides facing each other. This is for the front, and pinning it down, and I'll be sewing by 1/2 inch starting from down going up like that. So this is also the other side piece. I just pin it and I'll be sewing by 1/2 inch. It is great to pin before you start sewing because it is easier that way, and also you are able to locate every piece where it's supposed to be easily. So I'll do the same even for the lining pieces, and now also for the back it is simply the same, but let me show you. Let me first put the lining pieces away. So this is my center back pieces. It is separated into two. So again, I'll bring my side piece and pin it together, right sides facing each other, and I'll be sewing by 1/2 inch from down going up, and even this one from down going up. When you sew starting from down, you will realize that if you have patterns in your fabric, they will match up together very well. So after sewing, this is what I have. I've joined the princess dart. So guys, I think you're seeing there is an excess on top here. Don't worry about that. We are just going to cut it off. We don't need it. So I'm folding my front piece like this. So I have to make sure that the shoulder measurement is not tampered with, and all the other measurements are not tampered with before I start cutting off. So after cross-checking, I know what I have to cut off all this excess. It is not necessary like that. So you have to finish cutting all the excess off, and this is what I do here like that. So now this is the front piece, and I'm going to cut off all the excesses on the lining pieces and all the back pieces, and also notch out along the stitch line, along the darts, so that my stitch line relaxes very well. So I'm cutting small notches along the sewing allowance towards the stitch line, but not through the stitch line, everywhere, especially where the pieces are curved. So you realize that after cutting these small notches, the seam is relaxed. So I'm going to do the same for all these pieces. So this is how the back also looks like. And now we are moving on to join the lining with the main fabric. So right sides facing each other, lining and the main fabric. I'm going to sew by 1/2 inch along the neckline like this, and a 1/4 inch along the zipper allowance. Then at the sides just 1/2 inch. So along the zipper allowance just sew by a 1/4 inch, so that you don't take away all the zipper allowance. After sewing by a 1/4 inch, you will realize that the zipper allowance will now be 3/4 inch. So that is what I'll do on both pieces, and even onto this front, just right sides facing each other, lining to the main fabric like this. Start sewing by 1/2 inch along the neckline like this, and then just the sides also 1/2 inch like that. So let me just go do that and come back. So after sewing that up, this is what I have. This is one of the back pieces. So I think you're seeing, at this point it's always best to iron it very well, to press all the seams down, but there was no electricity at home, so I left that. So I have to cross check whether I have my correct measurements, and yes they are, and I'm good to continue. So this is the front also, very nice. So now for the flare pieces, guys, I have this one for the front. Since there is no electricity at this point, I was like, let me just cut this soft stiff paper, and I'll just be sewing it as I wait for electricity to be back, so that I iron it very well onto the wrong side of the main fabric. So the shining part of the stiff paper is aligned towards the wrong side of the main fabric, and then you just iron together so that they stick together. So I'll also sew by 1/2 inch, starting from the open part, going across the hemline by 1/2 inch like that, and finish up also like that. That is for the front. For the back also, anyway, before this front flare, I'll be attaching it onto this first piece by 1/2 inch that we left as the sewing allowance. So for the back pieces, guys, remember we have a zipper allowance. So this piece, this full circle that we have for the back, we have to cut it into 2, so that each back piece gets its own, like that. So I'll go and sew it up, lining and the main fabric with the stiff paper sandwiched between after sewing. So now this is what I'm meaning, guys. At this point I've cut out my circular piece into 2, so it has some excesses. That is where I'm going to be sewing. So like this, going across just by 1/2 inch, and then I'll turn it to the right side and then attach it to the back pieces. Do the same also for the front, and after all that, this is what I have. It is coming out so beautifully. The stiff paper is also making it to stand firm and look more beautifully. So if you don't have crinoline, just use stiff paper, soft stiff or hard stiff, whatever is available to you, but the crinoline is better. But this one also came out beautifully. So now this is what I have. This is how it looks like. I've already added the sleeve also. As you see, the sleeves are attached onto the fabric after I joined the shoulder lines I attached the sleeves, and now I'm just going to attach this zipper from top to bottom. It is a zipper that opens up into two. So after that, I'll just join by the allowance that we left from the sleeves going up to the sides like that, for both sides of the sleeves or for both sides, and the top will be well done. So this is it after all the sewing. This is the zipper that I talked of, that I've joined at the back. It opens up into two like this, so you can just add any zipper that is available to you. Just make sure that it is strong enough. So this is it, and I like what I see. It came out so beautifully. If you have any questions, please go on and ask in the comment section. Just know that it came out really beautiful. So do you like it the way I do? So this is it about the sewing of the 720-degree flare. Just divide your waistline into two, and whatever you get, you divide it by 6.28, and you do that twice to get the two pieces of your blouse. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Yvonne Winifred Yuji, please subscribe. Thank you.